Homeowners insurance can provide valuable protection for you, your home, and your personal property. In this brief video, we'll review some of the options available. That way you can make an informed decision when deciding on your homeowner's coverage. The first coverage to note deals with your specific dwelling. This policy coverage is designed to replace your existing structure with one of similar construction and building materials. And in order to come up with the recommended coverage levels, it's important that you consult with your broker. That way, you'll have an accurate estimate of the cost of materials and labor to rebuild your existing home from the ground up. When evaluating these numbers, you'll want to keep in mind that the current market price of your home, or what your home might sell for today, and land value are not factored into this reconstruction cost. An important component included in your homeowner's policy is what is called guaranteed replacement cost. This helps to ensure that you have enough coverage, just in case the dwelling coverage amount is not enough to rebuild due to an increased cost of labor and materials, which generally increase in cost over time and are subject to large spikes when hundreds of homes have to be rebuilt at the same time, such as after a wildfire. For these reasons, guaranteed replacement cost can be an important component of your policy. The next coverage component includes detached structures and covers structures on your property that are not attached to your home, including detached garages, sheds, pools, retaining walls, and more. Many policies include separate structures coverage of 10% of your dwelling coverage limits, but this number can be increased if needed. Next up is personal property coverage, also known as contents coverage, which is designed to protect your belongings, including furniture, clothing, appliances, and more. Basically everything that isn't attached to your home. Think of it this way. If you could turn your house upside down and shake it, everything that would fall out is personal property or contents. Most homeowners' policies include coverage for personal property. Typical coverage ranges from 50 to 75% of the amount of insurance you have on the structure of your home. So, for example, if your policy includes personal property coverage of 75% and your dwelling coverage amount is $400,000, you'd have $300,000 or 75% of the dwelling coverage amount for your personal property. It's also important to note that there are coverage limits for special items such as jewelry, firearms, antiques, and other valuable items. There are a wide variety of items that fall under these special limits, so it's important to review your options with your broker. To best protect these items, we recommend adding a floater or an endorsement onto your homeowner's policy. We also want to mention another important coverage included in your policy called additional living expenses. Most homeowners' policies include this coverage, and the limit is usually 10 to 20% of the coverage you have on the structure. This means if you were displaced from your home due to a covered loss, such as a fire, lightning, or smoke damage, this is coverage that can provide for the cost of a hotel or long-term rental, doggy daycare, and even extra gas or food expenses. Next up is one of the most important and often under-investigated coverage items called liability. We commonly think of someone slipping and falling on our property, but that's not the only reason you need coverage. Another example of liability claims are animal attacks. From dog bites to cat scratches, injuries caused by your animals can lead to lawsuits that your liability coverage will protect you from. Or what if you or your family member accidentally starts a fire and it spreads to your neighbors' houses? Well, damage to their homes, personal property, and loss of use as a result of this accident can lead to a liability lawsuit against you. This is why having enough liability coverage is extremely important. Another important coverage that's included in most homeowners' policies is voluntary medical payment and property damage coverage. This is the coverage that will help by potentially resolving small claims. If someone is injured on your property, the voluntary medical payments portion of your policy will reimburse the injured person's medical expenses up to the limit in your policy. Unlike liability coverage, this coverage does not require the injured to establish that you are liable for his or her injury. There are many extensions of coverage that are also available. The following are some of the most important. Most insurance companies report that the largest cause of loss and largest amounts of losses paid arise from water damage. Insurance policies do a good job of providing coverage for water damage that occurs inside the home from sources also located inside the home. For example, water damage as a result of a burst water pipe. However, there are two segments of water damage coverage that you need to be aware of, and they should be added to most homeowners' policies. The first of these is sewer backup, which is protection for damage caused by water that backs up into the home from a sewer, sump pump, or septic tank. Coverage for these sewer backup losses can be purchased with various limits and deductibles. There are also discounts available with many insurance companies for having water damage mitigation measures in place, such as alarms, battery backup, and backflow preventers. The second coverage is known by many different names, but the general area of coverage is for Overland flood coverage. This coverage will protect for water damage caused by an unusual and rapid accumulation of groundwater, such as a torrential rainfall that enters your home. There are different limits and types of this coverage. Some areas do not qualify for this coverage, but most areas are eligible. So now that you have a better understanding of how the main home insurance policy coverages work, we'll wrap this up with a brief discussion about deductibles. Deductibles are one of the most important parts of any insurance policy. In addition to determining how much money you'll receive when you file a claim, they also affect how much you pay in premium. So, what is a deductible? When you experience a loss that is covered by your insurance policy, the deductible is the amount you're responsible for before the insurance pays. Keep in mind that the higher the deductible, the lower the premium will be. And on the flip side, if you do want a lower deductible, know that you will pay more for your policies up front. When selecting your deductible amounts, it's important that you choose a deductible that you can afford. If you select a deductible of $2,500, you'll want to be sure you have $2,500 available in case you do have a loss. We hope this brief video has helped you to learn more about your home insurance options and how having the appropriate coverages in place can help protect everything you've worked so hard to achieve. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to give us a call. That's why we're here.